The MBRP Pro Series Axleback exhaust system for the 2018 and newer GT will be a full stainless steel option that's going to deliver a bunch of sound, but for not a whole lot of money. In fact, at the time of this video, that mid to high $300 price point is going to make this one of the most affordable in the category, while at the same time still boasting that 304 grade stainless steel build. Install will involve some cutting, as is the case with any S550 Axleback, so we're going to nudge this one up to a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, with a more detailed walkthrough to come later in the video. Now, in my opinion, MBRP does a great job of making a wide variety of systems out there, utilizing a few different materials that basically make them appeal to a wide variety of budgets. And while I will say that is going to be a little bit more apparent in their catback lineup, they have a lot more to choose from there, the Axleback category still does have a few different flavors to choose from as well. Now, at first glance, it does become immediately apparent that this system will be a tad on the loud side. Why? Well, because there are no mufflers anywhere in sight. In fact, this kit does delete those factory mufflers, in turn straight piping your factory exhaust system essentially from that resonator on back. The end result here, guys, is going to be one of the most aggressive Axleback systems you can get, and most aggressive tones that you can get without removing the cats or the factory suitcase style resonator. But let's not waste any more time with this system. Let's talk about the sound you can expect when bolting up the Pro Series to your 2018 or newer GT. And again, things are pretty aggressive here with this Axleback installed, as you would imagine, right? So going to my patented 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbor scale, I have this system coming in at a rather strong 4 out of 5. And because that factory resonator still is in place, the sound is going to maintain a good profile, meaning it's not going to be too raspy, it's not going to be too distorted, and best of all, the interior noise is surprisingly minimal overall. Now, MBRP, I would like to think, helped me coin the phrase bark for your buck, and this system, the Pro Series, really does embody that very well. On top of that killer tone, you're also getting some of the finest materials out there thanks to the 304 grade stainless steel throughout from tip to tip, making this the calling card of the Pro Series systems. Now, that will include the small amount of 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing here, finally all exiting out of your quad tips, 4 inches in diameter and etched with that MBRP logo. And because you are working with that high quality stainless steel build, MBRP does back this entire system, the Pro Series here, with their full lifetime warranty against any possible defects. But with all that said, let's talk about the installation. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, there is a small amount of cutting involved here, but that really is the case with any S550 Axleback. It's not that bad as long as you take your time, measure twice, cut once, and you'll be good to go. But to give you a better idea of what's expected with this job, here is a detailed walkthrough in addition to a tool breakdown.
First thing we're going to do here is make a mark on our catback. That's going to show us where we need to cut so we can remove the factory Axlebacks. So what we want to do is find our muffler and come down right after the bend. As soon as the bend stops and you have a section of straight pipe, that's where we want to cut. I'm going to go ahead and make a mark here, and we'll do the same thing on this side. You want to find your bend. Right after the bend, you're going to have a straight piece of pipe, and we'll make our cut line right here. We're now ready to cut our factory Axlebacks out of here. I got a metal cutting blade on my Sawzall, so let's go ahead and get this guy cut. So I'm about halfway through the pipe here. I did throw a pole jack up in place here, so when I go all the way through, this muffler doesn't come down and hit me on my head. All right, we've got our Axleback cut now. I'm gonna slide the stock muffler out of place. I'm gonna spray the upper hanger with a little bit of WD-40. Should be able to just slide this right on out of our hanger. Next thing we're gonna do is clean up the cut ends of the pipe that we just made. I'm gonna be using a die grinder with a carbide tip here. If you guys don't have one of these, a round file or a piece of sandpaper will do just fine. We're now ready to install our axle backs. First thing I'm gonna do is slide a clamp on the end of our pipe here. Next, I'm going to slide our hanger up into our rubber isolator, get that started, and then finally we can come down here and make the connection. All right, so I've got my clamp on the end of our pipe here, and again, I'm gonna slide them up into the hanger, then come back and make the final connection. Next thing I'm gonna do is tighten our clamps up before we put our tips on. I have a 15mm socket on my impact gun here. We're now ready to install our tips. Let's go ahead and slide one of these on here. And I will be using a 5/16 Allen wrench to get these tightened down. And we'll do the same thing on the other side now. That's going to wrap up our review and install. Be sure to check out more at AmericanMuscle.com.